What's going on, Facebook world? Welcome to this week's edition of Throw It Thursday. We are back after almost a three-week hiatus, but we're glad to be back here at the training center and giving you a look at the newly released, as of today, Columbia Outlook Solid. Our apologies for getting started a couple minutes late here. Haven't ran the machines for 3 weeks, so being a little temperamental to start off, so hopefully it cooperates here for us. But nonetheless, I have two individuals here tonight. I have Columbia 300 regional staffer Darren Zombro Jr., who is going to be able to showcase this ball for you from the left-hand side of the lane. And he's going to be joined by Hammer national staffer Kerry Smith, who's going to give you a look from the right-hand side of the lane. So both players are different in terms of release parameters. Kerry's definitely going to be playing a lot more forward in terms of hand position, while DJ is going to play him to the left. However, he gets his hand around it a little more. A couple of things to go over on the feed here for tonight as they're warming up and throwing shots here. So the specs, right? So for the guys that are the techie side of it and gals out there, this one is going to have that same Exciter Max cover, but in a solid version, and it's going to utilize the same Outlook core that was in the original release. This one, surface prep, is a little different. It's going to be 500, 1,000, 2,000, whereas the original was more of a stepped one, which was 500, 1,000, 3,000 with compounds. So distinctly different in that aspect. Both this solid version and the initial release, both of them had the 2.533 with 0.047 differential. So definitely this ball's got a lot of teeth, a lot of surface to it to start right out of the box.
You didn't say the word.
Well, this ball is not teethier, and I'm not trying to say teethier because it's not that type of ball.
You said the word.
I did not. So unfortunately, Kerry is on the feed tonight, and she says ridiculous words.
Unfortunately, what?
But yes, Nick, it's good to see you tuning in there. Nick, Vivian, thank you. We're both feeling fine. We're back in action here. Both of us were very fortunate. We were exposed to COVID and ended up having to quarantine with some positive tests, but both of us were very mild through the whole thing. So we're glad to be back in the center here. We missed doing the live feeds here. There's only so much I can talk from the living room and the couch, but we're going to get them throwing down. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, the other thing you can see, these are the actual balls they're throwing tonight. Just to kind of go over both players, these are perfectly fresh. These actually just came off of the press today. Because we were out, neither player has gotten to throw these. The pin-up version is Kerry's, which is a 4 1/4 with a 20-degree valve angle, whereas DJ has elected to go with a pin-down version. Same 4 1/4-inch pin to pap, but a valve angle of 65 on that one. So DJ's definitely got the core laying over just a little bit. Up versus down, not as big of an impact without it being an asymmetrical piece, but that 4 1/4, reasonably strong layouts for both of the players. See DJ throw up here. So giving it away tonight. We just have our normal, what we'll refer to as our house pattern out here. It is 43 feet and it's right around 29 mils. We use ice oil here on the original wood surface. So looks like the viewership's coming up pretty quick on here. So as always, I love answering questions. I know Kerry does have the original with her, and you can't see the finger holes. Kerry does have the original with her, so at some point we will definitely have her throw the original version that has the factory compound on it versus this solid version. Okay, she really got her hand around that one. So, gang, what do we got for us out there? Rick Roll, how's it doing, man? It's good to see you early today. Glad you finally were able to get in and get one of those MBs. We're here talking about this Columbia ball, but I'll tell you what, we sold a lot of MBs and a lot of widows today. They were flying out of here. So we have some left, but they're not going to last. Pretty amazing. I think we started the day with 24 of them, and we're through way more than half of them. So come and get them while they're hot. All right, I'm going to have DJ throw a couple shots here, and I'm going to ask them to give a little commentary then about some of their initial reactions to the ball that they're throwing tonight here. It's pretty good. That ball is definitely not lazy for being down. Doesn't really seem like it's super slow. For everybody that's watching out there, I definitely want to make sure everybody understands. I think one of the biggest misconceptions in bowling is that pin down balls hook early. That is just not true. Pin down balls, generally, if you think about what you're doing and laying the core over, is making the bowling ball actually slower response to friction. So a lot of times the bowling balls will feel a little longer and a little smoother more than anything. So like Kerry tried to go a little more up the lane with that one, didn't wrap her hand around it as much. Was that a specific move there to try to get it to lay off, or what was why don't you speak up?
No.
It was a poor shot.
It was just a bad
shot. When I do these feeds, gang, and I throw it bad, I tell you I throw it bad. She wanted to whisper to me.
It was a bad shot because my timing is a little off from not bowling for 2 weeks. So.
And I just seen Tommy Abrams just said he's in. Looks like he might be in timeout now. Tommy, hope it's very mild for you too, my friend, and hope the rest of the family can stay away from you. So hopefully you're sleeping in the truck. A really good shot there. So DJ, talk to me a little bit. I mean, first impressions of it. I mean, I'm watching through the screen with everybody back here. Looks pretty darn good.
Really clean. I mean, really shocked since we did go with the spin down layout in this one. Don't have many of them. Actually, really surprised at how it is reacting on the back end.
Right. Yeah, it's
so
definitely
maybe a little weaker.
Right.
But it's.
I mean, it does. It's not like it has a step. It is 500, 1,000, 2,000. So it's not like it's skipping Abralon steps and or Zaire steps. So it doesn't have a ton of teeth underneath. It kind of smooths that out a little bit. But even appearance of the ball appears to be pretty dull out of box. This thing's not having any trouble getting through the front part of the lane. And again, 70-plus-year-old wood. But Kerry just went high there again. Kerry, how about we let's have Kerry throw another shot here. Why don't we move in and wrap your hand around it just like you did those last couple and see how much you can give this thing away.
Hey.
Tommy, yes, they're fresh out of the box. They just came off the drill press earlier. No altercations to either one of these. Chelsea, to kind of, what are they similar to? These are kind of, remind me, the last 2 weeks we reviewed, the outlook this week and talked a lot about it. I think she just missed that on the bottom, but we talked a lot about the solid version with Dave Watko on Tuesday, and the previous week when I had Adam Ishman on, we were doing the Allure solid, and both of these bowling balls remind me of more of the kind of that benchmark ball reaction in your bag. Like, this is the type of ball that I'm probably going to get out of my bag to kind of give me a read of what the lanes are doing. Symmetrical piece, solid cover stock, gives me a good idea to understand the front to back of the lane, and then maybe a little bit about what it's doing left to right. So I would say previous ones, it's kind of, it's not an ebonite ball, but kind of in that game breaker type motion type line. I would say this one's probably closer to the 3. And I don't mean by numbers wise, but just kind of by shape. When you look back at like the Game Breaker 2 and stuff like that, that was definitely, real, smoother ball reaction, a little more on the spot. You can't get the 10 out either.
I'll get 10 out of that one. Feel like I'm
Is that a move on that one or just a little more forward?
Just a little more forward.
Yeah.
I just change the hand a little bit to see what would happen.
Hey, we got a bunch of people coming on here. House arrest to get results back, hopefully. out and have a session. Yeah, Corey, it's, unfortunately it's, that it's running rampant pretty much right now. There's a lot of positive tests. There's a lot of testing going on, and a lot of them we're hearing lately are pretty mild. So hopefully for everybody out there that's kind of going through this, it's the same way. Be smart about it. If you're quarantining, you're doing the right thing. It is boring. I will attest to that.
It's very boring.
I was stuck in a house.
All we wanted to do was eat.
I successfully said I think I gained the COVID-19. So 19 pounds from being stuck in the house eating cookies and M&Ms. I think she finally threw a good one. There it is. There it was. So, Kerry, did you throw that one good? Because I said it was good off your hand.
I did throw it much better.
Okay, so, but it looked like, for this one, it looks like you're, kind of, wrapping your hand around it pretty much. It doesn't seem like it's, it's definitely not early for you either. Now, remember, Kerry's is an up version, has a small val angle with that 20 degrees, and essentially what that's doing is that it's a very quick response when it sees friction. So, whether there's 29 mils in the lane or not, the friction on this type of pattern where there is some shape to it is definitely going to be to the right for her and to the left for DJ. So wrapping your hand around and getting to the friction quick, it's still not standing up too soon for you, which is good for a solid cover stock.
Right.
It's kind of smoothing it out a little bit, and that one really went through the pins nicely. Kept moving through the 8. And even that way, DJ's just showing off how good the left is here, because he's not going to admit to that, but he got that ball up in the air. That ball was right on target.
Right about 5 right.
And he got that up in the air, and it shimmed and went 10 straight back. So if you're left-handed, this ball's great for you. Buy him up. Tommy said very boring. He means quarantine, or he might mean watching a lefty throw strikes in here, DJ. Could be that.
I'm pretty sure he means quarantine.
I mean,
but
probably quarantine.
So a couple of other things while I'm on the feed and I'm answering questions and having the players kind of throw these and showcase for the first time. Obviously, we are back at the center. If you are thinking of coming by, it's best to get a hold of me first. We are definitely, I'm trying to schedule people to kind of space them out a little bit because of how busy we are. On top of it, I am going to have some extended hours here coming up. I'll be here tomorrow from 2 to 8. I'll be here Saturday from 10 to 3. We will get through for anybody that has gear here at the center now. I've been here since 11 o'clock this morning, going at it and trying to get caught back up. But I couldn't be more pleased with being back here, and really nice to be able to see some people and some other faces. I was stuck looking at just Kerry for 2 weeks. I'm getting the evil eye from behind the camera here, but after 2 weeks, we didn't kill each other, so I guess we like each other.
that's only because I made sure we had coffee and snacks and drinks. That's it.
Yes,
Right?
gotta have those. The other thing that we want to make sure, right now we're actually simultaneously live streaming now, not only to Facebook, but we're also live streaming to our new YouTube channel as well. So with the growth of the broadcast and the feeds and everything else that we're doing here, we wanted to kind of span out and get the audience onto some other outlets as well. So if you haven't done so, you can look on our feeds. We have a bunch of it posted. It'll give you the link to our YouTube channel as well. And you can go back and you can watch any episode that I've ever taped. They are all uploaded. And as soon as this one's airing live on there as well. So it's up to you which way you want to watch it. But we're here and we're going to keep doing these. Now again, oh, look at that carry. Got the 8-10 out that time. So another pretty good shot there. Didn't burn up. Pretty impressed with it overall. I mean, where do you guys, obviously you had to take a couple weeks off carry, don't feel very sharp. I know you talked to me about that from not being able to practice and bowl, but where do you have this kind of maybe fitting in your bag? What do you have this close to, or what are you thinking you might use this on?
I definitely think it's, like you said, kind of like a GB3. It's a little bit more than the original Outlook, but it still has that smoother reaction. It doesn't look early. As for in my bag,
You gotta speak up.
that's a great question. I'm not really sure where I would put it in my bag at this point.
Yeah, I don't know that it might, when you're saying more, I'm assuming you mean it's a little more continuous. It's not
Correct.
as sharp as the original
Right.
Outlook. So when you go up here, on the next one, why don't you throw the original Outlook to kind of give us a comparison between the one we're throwing right now and the original. You know, same, like I said, same core, different cover stock, different additive package. Lefty.
Yawn.
Lefty. You can throw it anywhere. Throw it anywhere you want. I think I could put my hand in DJ's bowling ball and go up there and strike with my street shoes right now. So we're gonna have Kerry throw one with the original outlook to kind of give you. Now, Kerry, don't make an adjustment here. That's you know, get your hand around it, kind of, you know, get it to the spot like you were doing with the other one, and let's see how this one comes off of it compared to the solid version. Yeah, see the difference of how much cleaner that is, right? Just how much cleaner that was. You know, that kind of shot through the front, and that's kind of where, you know, right now, if you were to look at the shape of this pattern, that's kind of where the puddle is. So, like, if, you know, if Kerry's going to be throwing a, you know, a pearl or a hybrid cover stock, she's definitely going to be playing it further right on this, you know, and taking that friction that's downlane to the right. So take that outlook again, Kerry, the one you just threw. Why don't you make a, you know, a good substantial move to the right and see if we can get that thing coming off of it, popping off the back end, just to show that big difference between the two. Oh no, that's it. Yep, that look a little left to target, but you can see the difference. I mean, that ball definitely got through the front, you know, even further. Not that the solid version was early, but definitely two distinctly different pieces. That's what the intention's for. Terry, I don't know if I can physically get my hand in his bowling ball. I think he's got, I don't think I can get my thumb in it. His thumb is like elephant. My left thumb? I can't get it in the whole way. I mean, I could probably take his zit out and do it. Going back to the solid. One more with the original outlook. Fire those questions away, gang, because we're just about almost getting closer to that 20-minute mark. And as you know, we usually try to keep these around that time frame. Yeah. Way different, yeah. Right? Way different. Terry, I can't get my thumb in it, my friend. He's got those sharp fingers. I might be able to knuckle it. Here, hold that. Oh, it can't be that hard, right? In an apron.
In a ball apron with the left hand. Crossover.
I crossed over, but it wasn't. It just shows you how easy the left is, right?
No, it just shows you how easy the right is.
I used the left side of the lane, pal. I slid in the same place I would slid when I'm bowling right-handed. Over there. Can you explain one more pin-up versus right?
Track on the other side of my ball.
It's on the right side. Can you explain one more pin-up versus pin-down for the outlook? Can you explain pin-up versus pin-down for the outlook? Oh, not between the two, Nick. You're just saying kind of the difference. So in any bowling ball, okay, in any bowling ball, if you think about it this way, the pin, when you're looking at the pin of a bowling ball, you are looking at the top of the core, okay? That's the indicator. So as you take that pin, and let's say that pin, it was at 12 o'clock on a clock, right? And you start putting that thing towards 11, 10, 9, and get that thing going down, you're essentially laying the core over, okay? So what you're telling the bowling ball is you're actually slowing down the reaction when it sees friction, okay? So it kind of smooths it out. So a lot of times, and I think where the misconception started with pin down balls being earlier is, a lot of times when we drilled pin down balls in the past, it would kick the CG, or if an ASIM, kick the mass, the asymmetric mass of the ball out so much that we would have to put a weight hole in it. And generally, depending on the pin length, it was down, and that hole in the ball being down is what made that bowling ball start up earlier. So that's where I think there's a little bit of confusion as to, pin down ball is going to hook earlier. It just doesn't. They're with no hole. They're generally a little smoother. Sometimes feel like they're longer because they're just slower transition off of the friction. Pretty good shot there. Feel like you missed that a little bit. Terry, let's talk about me striking on the left-hand side in street shoes with my apron on, and you can hit either side of the head pin, and you're trying to tell me the right side's wall. You gotta go to the bathroom back there, or what?
You have a girlfriend back there?
We got the kid down back watching the pin setters just because we haven't ran him in a while, so he's jumping up and down. I'm not really sure. All right, gang, I'm gonna have DJ throw one here. Get those last questions in, Nick. Hopefully that made sense. If not, you know how to get a hold of me too. I can explain in more detail, and if you ever want to come in and just have a chat about ball technology like we've done, not a problem at all. Love to talk through it, like to educate, try to give the best information we can out there.
There's 5 left.
Yeah.
So DJ just missed, so he just came back and said he moved.
He moved 5 left, he said.
He didn't move 5 left, he just missed. So lefties come back and they tell us they moved when they throw a 4 shot. We love having fun with it. All right, Kerry, one more here. And then I'm going to look to start turning off the feed. Definitely got to get some time coming in here and do some work because the rack on this lane is horrendous. Hey, when you have pin setters that are 70 years old and they don't run for about 3 weeks, they're a little tired. So
seems like lane 2 always had that issue.
A little bit. Oh, she really got her hand around that one. The friction quick. Are you trying to curve it?
Try to show her muscles.
She got that to the right quick. Got it to the friction quick. You got that, the pin up with the small valve angle. What did it do? Responds to friction quick, right? So if you get it to the dirt quick, it's going to stand up quick. I'm not allowed to turn the feed off until Kerry strikes, so this could either be a 22-minute feed like it is now, or it could turn into 45 minutes. I got it right quick again. Oh, I got the miracle carry. Dead whipped it off the hand, gets to the 10 out. That should sell some bowling balls though, because that was whipped a little bit on the bottom. One of the things that I'll go over, and I like to do when it's on a Thursday, as we kind of wrap up the feed, is we do talk sometimes about what we're going to do next week. So first time I'm announcing it here. Next week we are going to be featuring a deviate ball, which we haven't done on the program yet that I can remember. Last one was the Verge Pearl. You are right. We did do the Verge Pearl. But it's been a while. So we're going to do the newly released Warrant Solid next week. And our special guest on Talk About It Tuesday is going to be Deviate National Staffer Matt Ogle. Matt Ogle is going to be on the program. He'll give us his perspective on the Warrant Solid. We'll get to chat with him, learn a little bit more about Matt. If you're not familiar with Matt in full detail, got a couple titles now. We'll go over those. He won a doubles with Sean Rash. And we'll probably talk to him a little bit about his transition to two-handed bowling. His journey was a little different, so we'll let him explain through that. And then we'll get this one onto the lanes next Thursday and show you that big old piece in that Warrant Solid. It rolls really sweet. So, all right, Kerry, I'm getting ready to kill the feed here. So if you're going to take us out in the closing remarks, remember right now, if you're going to be in the bowling centers, please be safe. Support the proprietors. Get some extra practice in. And by all means, buy the brands of Brunswick bowling balls because, gang, they are really, really good. Hope you enjoyed the feed. Glad to be back with you. And tune in next week. We'll see everybody then. Have a good one.
See ya.